Hi everyone, and welcome back to another Food and Fun Friday. I've got a special one here. It's just not a new recipe. I'm sorry guys, but we're still gonna have fun. We're gonna eat, read scriptures, and I'm gonna share a story with you guys. But for starters, as always, if you are new to this channel, if you could subscribe, hit that notification bell underneath that, then you'll be notified whenever I upload all these new videos. Share around this channel if you could, please. It would help my channel to grow. And definitely shoot me a thumbs up if you enjoy all of this. And shoot me some comments down below. Let's get eating, everyone. TGIF, everyone. Happy Friday. Happy Friday the 13th. Now, I am not a superstitious person, but I don't know if you guys are out there. If you are, stay safe today. I do know that my grandmother was, my mom's mom, because a couple things happened to my mom that was awfully weird. And my mom will correct me because I know she watches these videos. I believe when she was 13 months old, on Friday the 13th, my mom fell down and I don't know if she fell down or grabbed a cup and fell, and the cup cut her finger from here all the way down her hand, and she had to have 13 stitches, you guys, and it was Friday the 13th. And because she was a baby, it was numb. She used to chew on her pointer finger because of it, and now her finger is pointed. That's so weird that her pointer finger is pointed at the tip there because she chewed so much on it as a baby. And then I do believe it was the following year. Again, Mom, correct me if I'm wrong. She'll write it in the information box there if she watches this. I believe it was a year later on Friday the 13th. My mom fell down a flight of stairs and there was 13 steps. So she was 13 months old, cut her hand on Friday the 13th. Following year, fell down a flight of steps, and it was 13 steps. So my grandmother would always call my mom on Friday the 13th, make sure she's okay. I have talked to my mom today. She is okay, but I'm not superstitious. But if you are, that's okay. Just be safe today. Lean on God, give it to God, and enjoy your day. All right. This meal here is really exciting because it was the meal that I shared with you guys when I hit my goal weight. I had an exciting news to share with you guys. I had hit 139 back in May of 2016. I had started the ketogenic on November 4th of 2015, and in what was it, like 15 months? So in May, I believe it was 15 or 16 months, I lost over 170 plus pounds, reached my goal at 139. And this was the meal I shared with you guys. It actually was Quest chips and tuna, and that's what I'm having tonight. Now, I know I don't have another new recipe for you guys. I'm, really coming together with some different ones because I've made pretty much everything. I've recreated everything. If you go into my playlist under keto style mukbangs and recipes, I've done pretty much everything and recreated it. So I'm trying to come up with some new ideas, but I know you guys still love to see me, still love to chat, and still love to see what I eat for my one meal. That's right. I do OMAD, you guys. I was, every once in a while I try out like the 2 meals and stuff like that, but I really just love the one meal. I've been doing it for almost 2 years with an exception of a few days that a few times I might try like 2 meals, but I really like the 1 meal a day. I love it. I love the way I feel. And just all the benefits from it. When you hit, after 18 hours, you hit what's called autophagy. Look it up. It's like a super high. It makes you youthful and younger. It breaks down old cells and builds new cells. Helps with loose skin, which is old cells as well. There's so much that it does. Look it up, you guys. I mean, it's just amazing. And especially a woman of my age at 47 or a man, our metabolism slows down. So it's really great. Like they say, fasting is all you really need to do. You don't even have to do keto. But I love keto. I love the way I eat, and I do the fasting. And so, yeah, this was the meal I shared with you guys. It was in May. I don't remember the exact day. But you guys, if you want, I'll link it down inside this video here. Actually, I'll link it down in the comments. You can go to that video and see it. It was May. I do believe it was May of 2016. I had reached my goal at 139. It was an emotional video. I loved it. And this is what I was eating pretty much. I think I had avocado, though, and here I have a cucumber. So it was a little bit different, but I had the tuna and the chips. So today what we're doing for the one meal is 2 cans of tuna in water. And then I've got it with 2 tablespoons of mayo and some pickle relish. Excuse me, we've got some Quest chips here. I do believe they're the taco style ones, I believe they are. And then we got some taco dip here. My husband had brought home. I really love this taco dip. You can have this too. This is keto. I can't remember where he gets it from. I think you can get it from Walmart, Cub, different places. But it's just that taco dip. Most people make it. If you remember, I'll show it to you up close. It's that kind of peachy color dip that's got the olives, the cheese, the onions, the green onions and stuff like that in it. So I got a little bit of that to dip the chips in. I've got a cucumber here with ranch dressing. I've got another thing of that cream cheese that I make with the powdered swerve, I believe it is. And then we've got a serving of the Lily chocolate chips. I did the chocolate this time and the strawberries. So chocolate and strawberries, that goes good together. And I haven't mixed it yet. That's why it looks the way it is. I'm letting the cream cheese soften. I'm going to put a little whipped cream on it. I've got an Earl Grey tea here with sugar-free hazelnut creamer and just a water today. We're going to do water. All right, let's go ahead and read our powerful prayers for every need, and then we'll get on to this video. Today we are on, let's see, we did cares, right? Yep. Okay, so today we are on challenges, and I can't see. Consider it a sheer gift, friends, when tests and challenges come at you from all sides. You know that under pressure, your faith life is forced into the open and shuts. Into the open and shows. Let me read that again. Your faith life is forced into the open and shows its true colors. James 1, 2, and 3. Then it says, Dear Lord, I want to be a good influence on those around me. And I surely do, you guys. I hope that I am an influence of God. And just like, you know, my faith in God and all that, I hope I can be an influence to others. Bring others to the Lord. Show me how to challenge others to do good. It's easy to forget that others are watching me, taking notes of my actions and behaviors. I don't want to be a stumble block to others. I want to challenge those around me to pursue a life of faith. Amen. 1 Corinthians 8:9. And I do. I mean, it really shows somebody's Christianity of how they are. I can be however I want on here, right? I can be fake and phony and everything. But if you're around me and you see the person I am, you'll see that I still have my faith in God. I show that. I, read when I can. I pray when I can, and I should do it, much more. But your faith surely shows through you as a person. So don't be fake outside of something like this. Always be real. And I know that I used to see my pastor out and about and he wouldn't know. And he was the same as he was at church. He was not a different person. And that's when you know you got a true Christian there. And I hope that I can be an influence for you guys. The next one, Father, I feel I am always being called on to defend my faith. Sometimes this is good, but challenging allows me to speak the truth for the benefit of others. But at other times, I feel the challenge is just intended to be an obstacle in my path. Your word urges me to stay away from people who cause division. Give me wisdom to know the difference. Amen. Romans 16:17. And that's a great one too, because you're always going to have people around you. That's the devil. The devil working through them, always around you to try to bring your faith down or to tell you that you are a devil worshiper. You are an antichrist, and you're not real. You're as fake as can be. You know what? Don't worry about it. God knows the truth, and that's all we need to prove to is God. God needs to see how we act in our life because he's the one that's going to judge us. Everybody else can judge all they want, but unless you're Jesus Christ, you're not allowed to do that. Only God can judge because God is perfect. Jesus walked this earth perfect, a perfect man, but took our sins on to die for us so that we could have eternal life if we believe. But, God knows your faith, and you don't have to prove it to anybody like it says here. And stay away from people like that. Pray for them. Don't wish any harm upon an enemy, but pray for them. But stay away from them because it'll just bring you down. The devil will come through them to you. Stay away from them. Dear Lord, I want to be a path builder for others. I want to point them to you. Show me how to defend my faith in a way that challenges mental obstacles and opens the way for truth so that many might come to know you might come to know who you really are. Amen. Isaiah 57:14. That's a great one there too. Asking God to, I want to be a path builder, and I do. I want to for others. I want to show others my faith in God, my walk in God, and there's still lots that I have to do. I will never accomplish everything I need to do before my time is up, but I'm trying, and I could try harder. I know I need to try harder. I love reading these because it helps me to grow my faith too. Down below, it says, challenge me, Lord, to become everything you think I can be. Amen. What a great thing to ask for. Challenge me, God. Yes, Lord, challenge me. Bring challenges to me, and he surely does. I surely get challenges in my life. I definitely do. But I will never lose my faith in God. I will always turn to him because I know he is the way, the truth, and the life. And also he is my strength. Without him, you know, Philippians 4:13, we can do all things through Christ who gives us strength. So just remember that. Lean on him. Start your day, go through your day, and end your day with Life's Manual, the Holy Bible. Read it, study it, and get a great personal relationship with Jesus Christ. He came here to die for us. That's the least we can do is get a relationship with him because we can't get to heaven without going through Jesus Christ. So let's do that. Let's get a great relationship. And that's saying it to me too. Like I always say, I'm not preaching to any of you. I'm preaching to me. And if I can touch a heart and help somebody else to get closer to God and their faith, wonderful. But this is for me. All right. I love those verses on, again, what was it on? I don't know why I forgot that. On challenges. I should remember challenges. So that was a great one, you guys. Definitely, definitely keep your faith. All right, you guys. We're going to go on to eat here. Love my tea. My mother is a tea drinker because her mother was a tea drinker. My grandmother originally was born in England. And so English people love their tea. So my mom started at like 9 years old having her first cup of tea. But of course, her mom made it more water and sugar and stuff, less tea. And then as she got older, it was more tea or honey. I'm sorry, they did tea and honey. So it was a lot of honey, a lot of water, less tea. And then as she got older, then of course, more tea, you know, honey and all that. So tea and honey. That's how my mom likes it. But anyways, I love my tea as well because my mom drank it all the time. So I love it too. But I do decaffeinate it because of my heart condition. And then I've already went over everything and I just got my water here. I just wanted a water today. I have sodas, but I just wanted water. You know the days when your body needs more water. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and take a bite of this. I'm going to put it on a chip because that's how I did it in that video. That's what was the purpose of it, but it's also for that dip. But there it is. Tuna on a chip. Who doesn't love tuna? Well, I'm sure there's people that don't. Oh my God, I love it with that pickle relish in it. My son had sent me a picture of, he was having tuna the other day and he said he puts the relish in it. And so I did too. Now we can't use the sweet relish on keto. You want to use the dill relish, okay? The dill pickle one. That one is 0 carb. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I've been craving that too. And what a great source of protein. Tuna is so good for you. And a great source of fat with the mayo in it. And then, of course, the chips got the fat and the ranch, the cream cheese. I don't have any MCT in that. Actually, I do. Never mind, I have MCT in that. MCT is a great way to start your day off. If you're not doing one meal, do a fat bomb coffee. That'll wake you up. If you do the MCT, put some heavy cream in it. If you like it like that. Butter, if you like it with the butter. Get it, you know, make yourself a fat bomb and start the day off with fat. Fat is so good for you. We're learning as time goes on. Fat is better for us than carbs. We need the fat for our brain. Our brain is made up of fat. So it needs the fat. We were told the wrong information growing up. And even my son tells me all the time that fat is so good for you. Within reason, though. You don't need to overdo it and don't do terrible fats. Now, the mayo I use, I'm sure I can make like homemade mayo. That would be better. I use the one in the olive oil. So I like that one better. So, what I figured, we're going to take a bite of our cucumber here. Maybe we're getting a little ASMR here because I got the earbuds in. And speaking of earbuds, those ones from Dollar Tree that were $5, they were amazing, you guys, amazing. I just didn't like that they had a little cord on them. They were amazing. But while I was in California, it was in my purse and I broke the cord on it. So I had to get new ones. My husband got me new ones. But these ones work great. They go around your ear. I like those. But I don't like the buds that go in your ear. They go in your ear. But I like it to go all the way around the ear because they always fall out of my ear. I know you can put the little cord on it. But I like them around the ear. By the end of the night, though, my ears are sore. I'm sad. That's good. So, what I'm going to talk to you today As far as this video, like I said, I'll link it down in the comment section. Go watch it so you can get to see that when I hit my goal. If you're new, I'd love for you to see that because it was a very emotional video. I was very excited to hit my goal weight. And I kept it off, you guys, for 7 years. I've been keto over 7 years. This last November was 7 years for me. November 4th of 2022. 7 years keto. Okay. What I'm going to talk about is since I got that doll that looks like my son, I thought I would go more into detail with you guys and kind of tell you the story on exactly what happened with the situation with my son, my heart condition, all that. I know I've kind of mentioned some things, but I'm going to go over from the beginning. Before I even got pregnant. So I started off, I was working at McDonald's. I was the manager at McDonald's. And I was 20 or 21. I think it was 20. I was very independent. I moved away from home to go live with my cousin. I was a really independent person. I really was. My husband is calling. I can't answer because I'm doing a video. Sorry, babe. But anyways, I went to live with my cousin, and I went out one night, and I met Dylan's dad. I was dating somebody at the time, and I thought it was weird. His name was Bob. It was just weird. Like, wasn't paying any attention to me. He was playing pool with some other friends. And Dylan's dad, his name is Tom, came up to me and offered to buy me a drink or whatever and asked if I wanted to play darts. So I told Bob that I was going to go play darts. He said, okay. He comes over like 20 minutes later and says, or like, I don't know, like 45 minutes later, never even checked up. And he comes over, he goes, hey, dude, thanks a lot for, for taking care of her where I'm here. I was playing pool and stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, no problem, man, or whatever. He walks away and he looks at me and goes, really? You're dating a guy like that? He doesn't even care. He hasn't checked on you in 45 minutes. I could have took you out of this bar and kidnapped you. Got you drunk and kidnapped you. But anyways, I realized that, yeah, that's not a good guy. And yeah. So I started dating Tom. Well, he asked for my phone number. And I said, he put it on a pack of cigarettes, on a pack of matches from the bar. And I was dating somebody at the time, and I'm a very faithful person, and I just tossed it out because I thought I can't do this until I would break up with Bob. I didn't do that. But I broke up with him, and I really wanted to, see this Tom. But before I broke up with him, I ended up back in the bar, and he said, did you do something silly and lose my number? And he goes, here it is again. Well, again, I didn't call him because I was dating Bob still. I know Bob wasn't a good guy, but I was a child. You're a child at that age. I mean, you do the stupidest things. And so after we broke up, I really wanted to know more about Tom. At that time, he was a great guy, so I thought. And I decided to call up the bar because I just hoping he'd be there. Because the 2 times I was there, he was there. Well, guess what? He wasn't there then, but he showed up later, and somebody gave him my number, and he called me. So, one, I learned he was a bar person. He was always at the bar. Didn't know that till later, but he was an alcoholic. We're going to try some of this dip on a chip before we're out of chips. Yum. Actually, second, my husband is going to come in, I believe, because that was him calling. He usually calls and sees if I want to come down and, like if he's got some stuff to carry in, come down and help him. Or sometimes, yes, I smoke. Have a cigarette in the car because it's cold here in Minnesota. So if he's got the car running, he'll call me and see if I want to come out and just have one in the car. But anyways, so we, I went to the bar. Then we hooked up a time to go, and I went to that bar and met him there. And after that, we were together. We started dating. I really liked him and everything. He told me he was 32, and I was getting ready to turn 21. No, I was 21 because I was in the bar. I was 21. It was right after my 21st birthday. We would go to these bars together, stuff like that. He was kind of into like the biker bars and stuff like that. He'd go to that, and so we were doing that, and we were together all the time. And I moved back home from my cousins. I went back home, and Tom ended up getting kicked out of his parents' house. And actually, you guys, I was 20. I was getting in the bar. They just didn't card me back then. Because I was with him. He said I was old enough, and I was with that older guy before. So they never said anything. So I was only 20. Because I remember celebrating the first Christmas with them. With his family. And by then I was pregnant. But let's get into... or maybe I was 21. I got with him like in June or July. Yeah, so I was 21. Never mind, guys. But anyways, so we were dating and stuff. Well, he got kicked out of his parents' house and he had nowhere to go. He was down at the Mission, which is like for the homeless shelter. And my mom felt really bad, and my mom went and picked him up. She called my dad. I was with my mom. She called my dad and said, Jim, that was when my father was alive. His name was Jim. She said, Jim, can Tom come live with us? You know, I mean, Angel's with them, and I just feel bad that he's down here by himself. He has, you know, living in the Mission. Well, my dad was a very strict dad. I was the only girl. Daddy did not want my boyfriend living with us, but he made sure that we were separated. The way the rooms were and stuff. So, we picked him up and he came live with us. Well, after a few months, I'm on the depot shot. We didn't have a lot of sex, you guys. I do put this on only adult. Children cannot watch this. Unless the parents don't watch it. But we never had chances to very often because, of course, his parents were strict too. I think we did one time at his parents' house. And I think once when my parents were gone, I think. Sorry, Mom. But anyways, we didn't a lot. And I was on the depot shot. Then I got off the depot shot. Not off. I was due to get it. And I was like 2 weeks late from it. And I was telling him, you know, I really should get that done. And he goes, yeah, I'll take you down to get it or whatever. And we got in a fight one day. And I took off. I was upset with him. We got in a fight over something. I can't even remember. Got in a fight. I took off. And I had hit a deer. And that's when I got scared. I came back home. I damaged the front end of my car. He felt really bad. And he wanted to take me out to like dinner and stuff and talk. So we went out. He goes, let's go talk. So we went to the park to talk. And yes, I was at a park. We talked and yeah, things led to other things. And I told him, I said, you know, we got to be careful. I'm going to end up pregnant. Because I need to get that depot shot. He goes, if you do, we'll deal with that. Well, we'll get to the point how we dealt with it. But anyways, so that, you know, we hadn't done it anymore after that. We just really couldn't. Like I said, we just never had opportunities to do that. And I'm not always going to do it in a park, you guys. This was a very secluded park. Late at night. And yeah. But anyways, so we might have done it one other time after that or whatever. But I had never went and got the depot. I don't know why. I never did. Well, God must have not let me because I was pregnant. I didn't know. I had missed my period. But during this time, I had a kidney infection going on. They gave me medication for it. My kidney infection had turned viral. Well, first, I had this kidney infection. They treated it. It came back. When I went to the bathroom, just number one, it was the color of Coke. So I called the doctor, and they said, come back in. I went in, and by this time, I had already done a pregnancy test because I was like 10 days late. It was negative. I think it was late in the afternoon when I took it. It must have just been too early because I was pregnant. But anyways, I went to the doctor's office, and I remember that day, just something hit me and went over me and said, "You're pregnant." And I remember being out with my brother a couple times, and I was eating a lot. And I'm like, "God, I'm just so hungry all the time. I can't get enough to eat." He goes, "Maybe you're pregnant." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." But something went over my body that day at work. I was working at Pizza Hut. I had quit my job at McDonald's as the manager, and I went to Pizza Hut. And I felt that just like something, a rush come over me and just said that you're pregnant. And I thought, why would I think that? Because I'm like, I already did a test. It was negative and all that. But anyways, I went to the bathroom. I noticed that my urine was the color of Coke. I knew the infection was back. So I went to the doctors and I told them that. And I said, "Could that be why my period is 10 days late?" He goes, "I wouldn't think so." Then from there, they drew blood. I didn't know they were running a pregnancy test. He comes in and said, "I got good news and bad news." And I'm thinking, what could be good and bad about a kidney infection? He said, "The good news is you're pregnant." I heard nothing else since then. Now, I might have already told you this story, you guys this story, but anyways, I knew nothing else after that. The other thing he was telling me, I didn't know, but my Dylan's dad told me, he said, your kidney infection had turned viral, and they had to treat it differently because you were pregnant. I look over at Tom, and I don't have any more chips for this, but it's a dip you can eat. I think it's so good. I look over at him, and he does that check mark. Like, aha, I did it. I got you pregnant. Anyways, I go home. And I wait till I get home to tell my parents. Back then, I don't even think we had cell phones back then. That was back in 97? Yeah, because my son was born in 98. I got pregnant in September of 97. And all done with that. And and my cucumbers. So what was I saying? Oh, so I had to go home and tell my parents this. And I was a little nervous. I wasn't really nervous to tell my mom as much as my dad. I thought my dad was going to kill me. But anyways, we went home, and my mom knew I went there to get checked out for the kidney infection. Not even some, anything about a pregnancy. Nobody thought about a pregnancy. I didn't even tell my mom that I had taken a test. She didn't know I was late. She didn't know anything. I didn't tell anybody. I just thought it was late because of this kidney infection. But it had turned viral. So I came in the door, and I said, I got good news and bad news. My mom looks over at me, and she said, "Let me tell you the good news. You're pregnant." And I looked at my mom really weird, and I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "You're pregnant?" I go, "Yeah." She goes, "You're pregnant?" And I go, "Yeah." She goes, "You're pregnant?" Like, yeah, that's how many times she did it. She was just shocked. But she guessed it, and then I told her about the kidney infection. Well, she went and called her entire family and told them Angel's pregnant. They were really excited for me and everything, but my dad wasn't. My dad ignored me. My dad went in the other room and wouldn't even talk to me. Oh my gosh, this is so good, you guys. You gotta make it so easy to make this dessert. Cream cheese, chocolate chips, strawberries, and some of the swerve, the powdered swerve. Let me blow my nose quick. That dip has some spice in it. Sorry, guys. Hopefully now I don't have anything all over me. Oh, I hope I don't. I always forget about that. Like when you blow your nose. You have things on it. I hope I don't, guys. If I do, I'm sorry. Okay. So anyways, she's calling to tell everybody my dad wouldn't talk to me for a few days. He wouldn't talk to me, but finally he talked to me finally after a few days and was excited for me too. But anyways, so now let's speed up a little bit quicker. I'm pregnant. Dylan's dad's acting like a jerk. He told me if I got pregnant, we would deal with it. Yep, started telling me lies, wasn't coming around, moved out of my parents' house, went back home. I wasn't hearing from him anymore. And let me tell you this, back up a little bit. I didn't even know he had a child. He already had a son. I didn't learn about this till after I got pregnant, I believe, that he had a son, a 5-year-old. So right there scared me, thinking, oh my God, I didn't know anything about this kid. He was always with me. We never seen this kid. I found it from his ex that he never comes around, never pays child support, nothing. By this time, I'm already pregnant. I'm like, oh no. If he didn't like his first child, then why would he like his second? So, and I didn't know it was a boy yet. Well, I felt it in my heart though. But anyways, he moved out. He started lying. Everything. This was in September when we found out. Not September. November we found out. And yeah, it was November. We found out. And the following year, and like he left right after Christmas. He was with us till Christmas. He left right after Christmas, went home. And then from there, I didn't barely see him. Time was less and less between us. And I'm pregnant with this baby, you guys. Less and less and less and less and less. And then, I forgot to put the whipped cream on, but it's so good you don't need it. So, less and less. And then I didn't see him for like a whole month. And then February came, he took me out, let's see, November, let's see, July, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. Yeah, so it was 5 months. I was 5 months pregnant. September, October, November, December, January, February. Yeah, 5 months pregnant. I hadn't seen him in like almost 2 months now. And he came to pick me up for Valentine's Day. And he's like, wow, you really popped out. I'm like, yeah, I'm 5 months pregnant, you know. I mean, I wasn't gaining a lot of weight. I was pretty thin when I met him. I was like 160 pounds. I had put on, 20 pounds by now. And, or 15, 20 pounds by then. But my belly really popped out, And he's like, wow, your stomach really popped out. I said, yeah, you haven't seen me for 2 months. What do you expect? I'm almost 6 months pregnant. So, anyways, he took me out. Then he brought me back. He took me up for Valentine's Day, dropped me off, and said he had to go to work. Found out he didn't have to go to work because I called him at work to tell him something. He wasn't there. He lied. All of that. So I was going to Circle. He showed up. I said, I don't want you anymore. I'm not going to do this anymore. You don't want your first kid. You're not going to want your second son, your second child. I believed it was a boy, but your second child. And he's like, oh, stop. I'm like, I'm not going to let you see this kid, blah, blah, blah. We got in a fight. I'm not even going to get into that. My brother and him had an altercation. They weren't fighting, but he was just being a jerk to my 15-year-old brother at the time. My brother was only 15, Tommy. I just got him out of there. I said, that's it. And that was it. I broke up with him. I said, that's it. I'm going to do this on my own. And so here I am now pregnant without the dad involved. And he's like, you're acting crazy. I'm like, no, I didn't want him. So that was it. He wanted me, not the child. Let's put it that way. So anyways, then, time goes on, February, March, April, May. I'm starting to feel really bad. I got a date of June 17th or 19th that year. It was Father's Day was my date for my pregnancy that my child would be born. It was right on Father's Day. Of course, you never go right on your day. Some people do. But anyways, in May, April, end of April to May, I was really, more in April, middle of April to May, I was really feeling icky. I was really bloated, gaining a lot of weight. It was just piling on because I hadn't gained a lot of weight. But I ended up gaining 100 pounds with this pregnancy, and 50 to 60 pounds alone was water weight. So at the very end, I just bloomed. And that was the heart condition. I don't know if it was the start of it, the middle of it. I don't know what it was, but it was I think the start of it. And my doctor just thought I had the first signs of toxemia because my blood pressure was going up. I was bloating up. He's like, I don't remember you having any stretch marks. Did you have that last time you were in? I'm like, no. I'm like, I'm gaining weight like crazy. And he's like, I know, your weight went up really bad. So finally in May, I said, May 28th. I had him on the 29th. I went in on the 27th. It was a Wednesday and I had him on a Friday. and it was the 29th when I had him. So I do believe this was the 27th. They induced me on Wednesday, said they were going to induce me Friday. That's what the doctor had planned. But I went in early and said, I can't breathe. You got to take this baby. My tongue was swelled up. I was like, I can't talk. I couldn't even talk. My tongue was swelled up. That was all signs of the heart condition. But back then, that doctor I had was young, didn't know, thought it was toxemia, didn't know what was going on. My nose swelled up across my face. My mom said, look at her. Like, she doesn't even look normal. Like, there's something wrong with her. If you seen a picture of my daughter before this, her nose is so wide, her tongue, she can't even talk. Her hands are ginormous. My hands were so small. I was so swollen, you know. So he didn't know. He just decided to induce me and take this baby. Now, had he known I had a heart condition, he wouldn't have let me deliver naturally. He would have done cesarean, would have taken Dylan even earlier, because my son, 3.5 weeks early, was all ready, because this was the beginning of May, and the date was, or like the second week of May. And his date was, like I said, the 17th or 19th. So maybe it was a little close to that. Because all I know is he was 3.5 weeks early. And they took him, whatever, and they said he was already almost a 7-pound baby. They could have took him. I mean, babies can be born at 3 pounds, you know. So they could have took him when he was right around 4 or 5. They could have took him down cesarean, all of that. Maybe he would have had to stay in the hospital a little bit. But it would have been a lot less stress on my heart. Also, letting me deliver naturally was very stressful, because it was all back labor with him, which back labor is way worse. And I was in labor for 2 days. 2 days, you guys, in major pain. So that really pushed my, the limits to my heart. And so to speed up to that, so then I had him, and I, happy, everything was great. We went home. I was starting to lose a little bloatness and stuff, but not really. My kid was getting me up every hour on the hour. He was a preemie. He'd only take an ounce of food. I told you that story, that I ended up putting formula in it. My mom said put a teaspoon of cereal in it, baby cereal. He'll sleep longer. So then he did, so I could get more sleep, because he was getting me up every hour on the hour. But anyways, it didn't matter. I loved him, but I was starting to get sick now. Now, I wasn't asking for any help in the beginning, but then I was asking for help, because I just couldn't wake up for him, and I couldn't stay awake while I was feeding him, and I was so afraid. I didn't know. I just thought I was just tired. I had had a baby. I'm trying to do this on my own, and I was tired. So we were getting ready to do a move. Our family was moving. We were all moving, and I was moving with them, because I had Dylan, and we were moving with them. So we moved in with them or whatever. We went through an entire move. I was so exhausted. I was coming up and down the stairs going, I can't breathe. I'd get to the top of the step with one box. I'm like, I can't breathe. Something's wrong. And my mom just thought I was being lazy. Just didn't want to help her, which I'm not a lazy person. But back then I think I was. I was more lazy than I didn't do a lot. So she just thought it was being fake. She didn't know. And so, here we went through this entire move. And I moved everything with the heart of an 83-year-old, you guys. I had this bad heart and didn't even know it. So we did this after we moved in. A couple days later, my mom's over at my aunt's house hooking up phone service, because we didn't have any way to do it. So my aunt was the manager where we lived. So she was hooking up service. I was home with Dylan, and I was really feeling weird. Like, he was so heavy for me. I couldn't hold him. He was only 2 months old. I couldn't hold him. Something was wrong. So my mom walked to the door, and I literally not threw him, but came over and literally handed him into her hands and said, take him. I can't breathe. And she said, that's it. That is it. You are going to the hospital. Something is wrong. She said, you have pneumonia, you have a heart condition, or you have AIDS, or you have something. I don't know why she used the word AIDS, but she said a heart condition. She did say, there is something wrong with you. You're going in right now. So she got somebody to take me. I went in. They did testing and all that, sent me home. They did x-rays, stuff like that, sent me home. Said, everything was okay or whatever. They didn't know. Well, that night, my baby doctor called me. I did not have a doctor. I didn't have a primary doctor, so my baby doctor called me. I'll try to finish this up quicker. So he called me and just said, what are your symptoms? I told him. He said, okay, well, I really think there's something wrong with your heart. On the x-ray, your heart looks a little enlarged. I'd like you to get hooked up with a cardiologist. And if you get scared tonight, don't feel good, go in tonight to the emergency room. Well, thank God I went in that night, because my cardiologist told me when they did the stuff the next day, they said that literally I had 2 days left to live. He goes, maybe 2 or 3 days you would have been dead. So if I would have hooked up in a cardiologist appointment and all that, nobody knew. That doctor didn't know how bad my heart was. So a day after I was in there, that night I was in the hospital. They gave me oxygen. My heart rate was 170 beats a minute. They said, give her oxygen and all that, because I was scared, but my blood, heart rate was so high. So I went in, and I went into the, I was there. And then the next day I had a cardiologist come in. His name was Dr. Sharkey. And he did the cardio echogram, and that's when he gave me the devastating news about my heart condition. I had the heart of an 83-year-old. My heart was double the size. It was only functioning at 8%. It should be 50. It was the upper left ventricle of the heart that was double the size. If it would have been the right, it wouldn't have been as bad. But he goes, if you don't heal up in the next 2 months, you're going to face a heart transplant. I was put on a heart transplant list. I mean, all of this overwhelming for a 22-year-old. And my mom is standing there, looked like a ghost. Like, we couldn't believe this news. You'll never have any more children. You can't have any more. You need to get your tubes tied, this, that. He was very thorough, like, and very to the point, but a good doctor. He was a good doctor, but just, told it like it was. And then it said, I know you're probably going to need to talk to your family now. I'm going to leave. I know this is devastating news. You're so young. He goes, this is something 1 in 500,000 for women in their, 40s. I was 21, multiple births, or 22. I mean, multiple births. I had 1 kid, or African-American. I didn't even fit the criteria. So he said, you're 1 in a million that this could happen to. It was so weird. Why couldn't I win the lotto, like I used to say? But I got that. I prayed, I prayed, I prayed, I cried, I prayed, I cried, I prayed. I was in the hospital for weeks. I wasn't with my baby. Everybody was taking care of him. My mom said, he's crying and we got to bring him in there. He needs you, because, he needed his mama. So they brought him in. I heard him coming down the hallway crying, and I was crying. As soon as they laid him on me, he stopped. He looked up at me, and he stopped. And when I opened that package of that baby, and I hold it like that, it looked just like him. Oh, it looked like him. I know it's not exact. The only way to get an exact baby is to have my baby molded, but it is close, and it really looks like him. I can't wait to paint him. In fact, currently, he's in the bath right now because I'm going to be painting him. I'm washing him right now, letting him soak so I can do his painting tomorrow. But anyways, they brought him in, and that was it. I only seen him once or twice there because it was hard to bring an infant in there. I was in there for like 2 weeks. Finally got to come home. I was still very ill. I was trying to be strong and do things, but they told me, lay down. You need to rest. You are, you have a heart condition. You need to do this or whatever. Your heart's really bad and this and that. And so I was losing out on everything. My mom was giving my son the bath. She was changing him. I could feed him once in a while. I could do that because I could sit down and feed him, but I just wasn't getting what I wanted. I became very angry at God. I was angry at the world. I was angry I couldn't have any more kids. I couldn't take care of the one I had. His dad was gone, out of the picture. Wasn't even trying to call, come around, nothing. Wasn't getting any child support for him, nothing. And I had the heart condition. He was out partying, having fun. So I got selfish. Selfishly, I, just kind of walked away. Not walked away from my son, but said, okay, you guys take care of him. I'm done. If I can't take care of him and you guys all get to do it, then I don't even want to take care of him. I was mad at God. Everything. I do look back at that, and I've asked God to forgive me. I regret that because I lost out on some of that stuff with my kid. But that baby stage, that newborn stage, I lost out because of the heart condition. But then as he was getting older, I walked away. I said, you can take care of him. You take care of him. I don't want to take care of him. I'm not going to do it. I have a heart condition. I can't have any more kids. You guys just have, and yes, selfishly, I was a young child. I was going out dating all these guys and partying and just having fun, and not partying with alcohol. I couldn't. Had a heart condition, but just out doing things because I was starting to feel a little better. My heart was getting a little bit better, enough for me to enjoy life. I was only 22. So they said, even though your heart's bad, you're going to function differently. Your mind is, and your body's going to want to function differently. So I was going out and doing stuff, and I just selfishly walked, not out of his life, but just walked away. But that being said, when he was that newborn baby, I lost out on that. It was really sad. So that being said, that was the purpose of this baby. And I love him. I want to give, hold him. And it's like I talk to him as if it was those days. And it's like I have that newborn that I missed out on and stuff like that. But yeah, after that, then things changed. I got better with them, with my son and everything. I finally gave it to God. Said, God, I want to keep my heart. Things improved. Not great for 16 years. The best I could get the heart to was like 30%, but I didn't need another heart. And then after doing keto, then it got better, you guys. Then that's another story for another day. My heart did get a lot better. Got off of 20 medications from the 22 I was on. Yeah, that's another story. But anyways, we did, finally I became that mother I needed to be for my son and everything. And, I just selfishly walked away for a little while. I mean, I was still there all the time, but I just mean, I was jealous. There was a jealousy that went through me that everybody could take care of my baby and I couldn't. I mean, I know at that point you're saying, well, how couldn't you go out and party? I could then. I mean, what they could do prior. I was in the hospital. They were taking care of him. I was home. They were taking care of him. Then I got better and I said, you know what? You guys would take care of me. Just do it. And I just walked away. I even remember one night my mom calling me saying, and I know I've told her over and over and over, I'm sorry. She said she didn't feel good. Could I come over and help her with Dylan? I said, no, you want him, you take him. And that was it. I mean, I really was a rotten person for that. My mom forgives me totally for that. I was young. I was stupid. I had this heart condition that I was very angry with God. Why did I have to have this? But I learned to live with it. I learned to live with that. I had one kid that people couldn't have any kids and all of that. I did miss out on some things, but my kid didn't die. Some people, their kids die. I still had him. And I selfishly, separated myself from him as, more like when he was 6 to 9 months old and stuff like that. But I was still going over there. But anyways, that being said, I lost out on the newborn stage, and that's my story. And that's why I love this baby. I can't wait to paint him. He does look a lot like him. Again, he's not exact Nothing's ever going to be exact, you guys, because I would have to have a mold. If I could ever find anybody that could mold my son, I will have that molded. But I do love this baby. I'm going to paint it to really look like him and everything, and then I'll show you guys after he's painted and all that. I actually wanted to have him in the video with me because I can't even, like, part myself from this doll because it's like everything I lost out on is right there. So, like, I'm not even holding the other babies lately. I've been just holding him. It's been a great joy to me. It's like I got back that infant, you know, that newborn baby that I lost out on. So I've really been spending a lot of time. He's been in bed with me. Yeah, like, I don't want to share him with anybody right now. And I know it's just a doll, but if you guys are ever put in that situation, you'll understand. So, but anyways, that's the story on him. And yes, I got better and I took better care of him and I'm doing great. And I love this doll because this doll will always be a newborn of what I missed out on. And I hope you guys enjoyed that story. And I'm sorry it's kind of a long video, but I hope you like that. I will try to get a treat video for tomorrow. I've got a treat I want to share with you guys. I'm not going to eat them because I'm full, but I'll just show them to you. I've already had them. They're great. I'll show them to you guys. And hopefully you'll get a keto video tomorrow. Baby video on Sunday for Share It Sunday. And yeah, that's that. So I'm going to get going, but before I do, I just want to show you guys, did you know that I kissed Sylvester Stallone? Yes, that's right, and I'm one of the very few girls that can say that and prove it. All right, you guys, everybody take care, God bless, and I'll see each and every one of you in my very next upload. Love y'all. And just remember, bad things in life can happen, but God pulled me through it, got me through it. And today I sit with my same heart, almost 25 years later, maybe 25 this year. 25 years later, I still have my own heart and it's a lot better. So give it to God. God can do anything. God's a miracle worker. He definitely is. All right, you guys. We'll see you in the next video.